Hello YouTube, welcome back to my playthrough of LA Noire. We're going to be doing Nicholson Electroplating, the DLC arson case on this next part here. I do have one unfortunate thing to say. I did already play the case and I beat the case, and I'm pissed about this. I accidentally muted my mic. I had my mic muted from earlier and I recorded the entire case while my mic was muted and I just felt so stupid. So gonna replay it again. Go through it, and I understand the story pretty well in the case now, so I can also explain it as I'm gonna go along the way. When I played it the first time, I only got one question wrong, and I will actually get that exact same question wrong just to keep it fair. But anyways, let's continue where we left off, but before we actually start this case, I want to show you guys actually a secret cutscene that you guys told me I missed in the last part. So when I was playing as Kelso in the last part, and when we went to Curtis's apartment, there was actually a secret cutscene if you actually go into Curtis's bedroom. It's a pretty disturbing cutscene, I didn't know about it. But anyways, here it is. So, I wanted to show you guys this secret scene, and I thank you guys in the comments for telling me about this. I completely missed this. But a lot of you guys told me in the comments in the last part that there was a secret scene that I missed in Curtis's apartment, and I don't even remember this scene back in 2012 when I played this game. Because I beat the main story, I never played the DLC cases, but I never even remembered this scene with Curtis because I would have remembered something disturbing like this. But basically, I walked out on the last part because the clue music ended.
What exactly do you expect to find,
There was no more
Jack?
clue music playing, and I questioned Curtis, and I thought I was done. I thought I had to leave his apartment, but there's a secret cutscene that you can actually get if you actually go into the bedroom, and it's really disturbing, it's really disgusting, and it's gonna make you hate Curtis even more, but I gotta warn you guys, it's really disturbing.
How old are you, princess?
16, mister?
How old are you really?
Nearly 13.
My god.
You take love where you can find it as you get older.
Love? That has nothing to do with love, Curtis.
Some might find your romantic notions endearing, Jack. I find them very tiring.
You're finished, Curtis.
That remains to be seen, Jack.
I haven't told you about my new job, Curtis. DA's investigator.
Who do you think the DA reports to, Jack?
Get dressed, you're getting out of here.
He's not so bad. He just lays on top of me and grunts for a few minutes. He's kind. And he buys me nice things.
Get dressed, you're leaving.
Ugh.
She will only come back.
I'm honestly surprised Kelso didn't pistol whip him a second time after that. I'm honestly surprised Kelso did not beat the crap out of him again. But this game has so many perverts, like, you know, child pedophiles in it. There's Eli, there is Curtis, and then there's also Valdez. Basically, there's three, you know, child molesters in this game. And this makes me hate Curtis, like, I would say 4 or 5 times even more. Because he was already a scumbag, but he's also a child molester on top of being a corrupt scumbag. Disgusting.
Any news from Jack? There's a statewide APB out on it.
Jack's okay. He has something up his sleeve. He's not worried about being caught.
How do we help?
We go after the other side of the equation. Jack has a legion and its cronies running scared. We go after the doctor and some of the other guys.
But the whole department breathing down our necks.
It's time for action, Herschel. It's time for change. Jack's crossed the Rubicon and we have to be on the other side ready to help.
Christ, what was that?
Explosion. Something big.
You think it's the Reds? You think those Rusky sons of bitches that dropped the H-bomb on us?
Calm down, Herschel. We need to be ready for the call.
I'm not waiting for an invitation. Get in the car and head for the cloud. KGPL can give us the details on
Soviets didn't develop their first atomic bomb until 1949. Oh my god, look at that thing. Also, this was my favorite case in the games. Out of all the cases, this one was my favorite one. I would say my second favorite is probably Naked City, but this one is, I would say, probably my favorite one. If you actually wait, you can actually hear the radio talk more about it.
Downtown? Can't be.
All units, explosion location is somewhere in Wilshire. Car 14 Adam reports the address. Units, stand by. Calling all cars, calling all cars. Assist the fire department. Explosion at 4672 Oakwood Avenue. 4672 Oakwood Avenue. Multiple citizens injured. At Nicholson Electroplating plant. All units in the vicinity respond code 3 and identify.
You heard the man. Let's get going.
Also, an explosion
11K
like
en
this
route.
would have blown out all the windows, so all the windows around the area would have just been blown out just because of the sheer force of the blast. And here's the crazy thing about this. I didn't know about this, but this actually happened in real life. This actually happened. This plant actually exploded in Los Angeles. In the real-life case, 17 people died and over 100 were injured. It took out a few blocks.
We have looters around the corner. Cuff them or put them down. We need to get this area under control.
You don't shoot at cops, you little prick. Get that bastard, Cole. Now ain't the time to be looking for a profit, asshole.
This is, I would say this is probably one of the stupidest ways to die, is like looting a bunch of stores after an explosion, and then dying in a shootout with the police because of that.
Catch a bullet, you son of a bitch!
What a stupid
Man,
way to
I
die.
wanna see.
It's like dying
Let's
in
go.
a shootout with cops after you're looting.
Jesus.
My
I've
god.
never seen nothing like this.
I wish I could say the same. It's like a bomb's gone off. Jesus Christ. Poor people.
Yeah.
We gotta find out what went down.
You know what this actually reminds me of? This reminds me a lot of that mission bringing down the house in Liberty City stories where like Tony Cipriani blows up an entire neighborhood. Let me also put on my suit. My god.
Get delayed somewhere?
What in God's name happened here?
Wasn't nuclear. If it was, we'd all be dead from the radiation.
That's reassuring. What's radiation?
People didn't know what radiation was back then.
Look at the size of that crater.
What's going on over there?
The mayor's going on television, appealing for calm.
Television. Who can afford one of those things?
Anything to go on?
You're looking at the remains of Nicholson Electroplating. I have an idea of what might have caused the explosion, but I'm only guessing. Have a look around the rubble, see if you come up with anything.
Worlds turn upside down.
Then it's time for us to do our jobs.
My god.
Vaporized. Oh, brother.
Some of the people that got vaporized, there'd be basically nothing left of them. Nothing. And imagine how scary, how horrible that would be, that you wouldn't even be able to give your loved ones a proper burial. There'd be literally no body. That's terrible.
That's it, Mr. Mayor. We're wrapped. Well, good. Thank you very much, son. You think it went okay? Couple of hiccups, sir, but that's to be expected. Nobody's ever done this before. We'll get better with practice. That maybe goes for me too, son. Should have played it a little more somber. What do you think, son? No, Mr. Mayor. You came across as, very resolute.
I was just very skeptical that the media had gotten here so quickly. And also another thing is, the mayor would not be here. I'm telling you that right now, the mayor would not be here, right at the center of this, and neither would the media be. Because they don't know if there's gonna be more explosions. Because that's the thing is, like, you see one explosion, people think, oh, you know, that's it. But you don't know if there could be more explosions. You don't know what caused it. You don't know if the rest of the building has something flammable, has something that could explode. And so they will be locking down this scene pretty quickly. But also, you have firefighters that will be going through the wreckage, basically trying to find people, because there's probably going to be people stuck under the rubble, too. There could still be people alive, trapped under it. And also, these buildings could still collapse. Like, all of this stuff could still collapse. So it's a very dangerous area. So there's no way in hell that the mayor would be in an area like this, too. And also, as for these buildings, if you want to know what's going to happen to all of these buildings are going to get torn down. Every single one of them are going down. Because it's, they have just been damaged so badly that they're just condemned. They're just, like, look at some of these buildings. Like, there's no way that these buildings will be able to stay up. So, that will basically happen is if a building takes so much damage from something, like a disaster, explosion, you know, just some kind of damage in general. If the damage is just so bad that the building becomes condemned, the government will actually order the building to actually be destroyed. So that's the thing is, even if it's your own property, the government can order your property be destroyed if they think that it can't be salvageable. They don't think that it can be, you know, fixed. They'll order you to destroy it.
Looks like all that's left. I can try the laundry tag.
Yeah, this guy got vaporized. Nothing left of him.
Detective, you seen this yet? Come take a look.
Blew the locker open, but shielded the contents. Let's see what we got in here. Only OSS agents use these things. We'll need to get the film developed to see if there's an espionage angle.
Spy camera. And also, when Cole mentions the OSS, for people that don't know what the OSS is the Office of Strategic Services. It was an agency that was created during World War II, and its primary purpose was to spy behind enemy lines and sabotage the Germans and the Japanese during World War II. But the OSS still exists today. You know what it's called? It's called the CIA today. That's what it's called. So it was before the CIA. It became the CIA later on. And also, as for cameras like that, that spy camera...
Any ideas, Herschel?
None that I care to utter for public consumption.
Cameras like that, you can buy spy cameras that have much better quality than that today. But back then, people would not have something like that. The public wouldn't have access to something like that.
Tomoko Akamoto. Japanese name.
What is it?
A substitution cipher. The Germans used them in the war. These are cipher rings.
You know what to do with them?
Maybe. I used them in OCS.
A lot of countries used encryptions during World War II.
First letters of the cipher key.
The Enigma machine was the Enigma machine was actually a German code machine during World War II, and I believe the Polish and the British were the ones who broke it. Let me see who broke the Enigma code. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, so Alan Turing was the one who broke the Enigma. And also Marian Adam Rejewski. He was also a Polish scientist. Rejewski, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He was also a Polish mathematician who also helped break the Enigma code. Okay. Now, anyways, this is not an Enigma machine. This is, you know, different type of, you know, codes. But anyways, basically, how to solve this thing here is, you would be looking at the key. And the key is H equals K. So basically, is align this. Where's K? Okay, so H equals K. And now we... Okay. Now we move over to the, Okay. H equals K, Okay, there we go. We got the code. The first one is... The first, letter, K, is N. Now we're gonna be looking for S. Okay, right there, S. Now we're gonna be looking for B. NVE. O. NVER. J. L. K. Q. And then X. And then B.
It's an address. 133 North Vermont Avenue.
Okay. There's one more thing to find here.
Hey, detective! I think I got something here.
I thought 4-Vix was a tough break.
Any idea what this is?
Very large.
Looks to me like some kind of machine component.
PNW Wasp Major
Airplane part,
R
maybe.
4800. Anyone knows any about planes in the comments? Let me know if that's a real life plane part or plane design.
I can honestly say I've never seen anything like this. Let's get started.
I'm Fred Nicholson.
This is your place?
What's left of it? 32 years of work up in smoke.
Fred Nicholson, owner and proprietor of Nicholson Electroplating.
Can you tell us what happened here?
Our chief chemist, Harold McClellan, was using this area to test the new process.
And what exactly is this new process?
That's classified information, son.
Yeah, you cannot hold something like this back. It's like your factory just exploded and took out a bunch of blocks with it. You know, God knows how many people died. You don't have the right to, hold information like that back. You have to tell the police everything.
A lot of people died here, Mr. Nicholson. I'm prepared to go to the press and tell them it was your fault. Ooh. What is the new process?
A way to chemically polish aluminum. It's traditionally done by hand. It's extremely labor-intensive. The process could be worth millions.
Whereabouts of Okamoto?
Who is Tomoko Okamoto?
Dr. McClellan's personal assistant. She came highly recommended.
She came highly recommended. And then accused.
Okamoto was involved in industrial espionage. Was she working for you or for a foreign government?
That's a ridiculous assertion. How can you possibly say she was a spy?
You know, there's really, you can say the spy camera, the espionage, or the cipher message. I haven't tried those. I just know that espionage. That's the one I used when I played this the first time before my, messed up with my microphone earlier. But espionage, the correct one. Evidence found in ruins suggests possible espionage. I mean, there's, all the evidence points to it. You know, her spy camera, the deciphered message.
How many of your other employees carry spy cameras in their handbags?
Jesus, Mary and Joseph, she was selling me out.
If she wasn't a foreign spy, who could she have been working for?
There could be other plating companies, but the big customers for the process are the aircraft manufacturers. Lockheed, Boeing, Hughes, North American.
That's what you, that's the really important part here. And I'll say this, my reaction to this is I was like, oh no. It's, because a lot of these airplane companies, like for example, Boeing, Boeing is not just an airplane company, but Boeing also builds a lot of military equipment, you know, military planes, bombs, they build armored vehicles. And so whenever there's any kind of, the US is involved in any kind of military conflict, they get tons of money from military contracts. They are part of the military-industrial complex, and so Boeing is definitely part of the problem. Definitely part of the. I would definitely say that Boeing is a corrupt organization too, and has massive amounts of power in the United States government. And I don't want to get into conspiracy theories here, but I will say that.
Detective?
Boeing has had a number of incidents lately where a lot of their aircraft they've been cutting corners, they've had some incidents, they've had like doors ripping off and other things happening. And also for Boeing is I know there's some controversy in space right now where astronauts are actually trapped in space and they can't get down. They were supposed to come down in June because of like Boeing's, you know, spaceship that they were going to send up has like some problems. And so now I think that the US government is going to Elon Musk to like get the astronauts down, but Boeing's getting all pissed about it and saying it's going to ruin relations with them, blah 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 this. But it's like, no, it's like you trapped a bunch of astronauts in space. It's like now the US government has to try to figure out other ways to get them down. So it's like, you know, as a company is like Boeing, I don't trust that company at all. And also, here's a really creepy thing, a really scary thing I'll tell you guys about Boeing, is there have been a few people who have wanted to testify against Boeing.
And boys' days from the explosion?
Those people who wanted to testify against Boeing have had very strange deaths. And so there's a lot of conspiracies about their deaths specifically. Whereabouts of McClellan?
What can you tell us about McClellan?
A brilliant chemist. He approached me a few months ago with the idea for the new process.
So no one has ever done this before?
No, but it's legitimate research.
It's legitimate research. Oh, man. Bad cop for this.
So you thought McClellan could do what no one else could do. You were prepared to take that risk.
Look, he was a trained chemist, and his ideas could revolutionize electroplating.
And you would be rich.
I'm a businessman. What's wrong with turning a buck?
You blew up 6 blocks. God knows how many people are dead.
I regret that.
That's laudable.
I regret that.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Nicholson. Can you send us Dr. McClellan and Miss Akamoto's personnel files?
I will if I can find them.
By the way, we also found the collar of a shirt. It has a laundry tag.
They're likely to be Dr. McClellan. The majority of people who worked here don't use a laundry service.
This guy is, and that's the corrupt chief of police that's also with him there. But about that guy is, like, I always wonder to myself, it's like, how can some people be so cold? Like, so cold like that guy. That, like, it's like, your factory blew up, but the first thing he says is, you know, 32 years of work, you know, gone like that. But he doesn't even think about all the people who have died, all the people that have been injured, the destruction of other people's businesses, other people's property. It's just all about my business. It's just, I never understood how some people can just be so cold like that. Okay, laundry service, I gotta mute this because of the copyright here. But also, the explosion that happened in real life, it actually happened in an electroplating factory.
You think McClellan went up in smoke? Or is he still alive?
You could ask the same question about Tomoko Akamoto.
I guess you could. You got an answer?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
Okay, here we answer the phone right here. And, in this case specifically, though, guys, is, one thing that I, let me answer the phone here first, and...
Detective Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Can you speak to someone at the Army Air Force Base for me, please?
Of course, Detective.
Tell them I have what I believe is an aircraft part. It's polished metal, light for its size. It looks like a cone of some sort. It's stamped on the inside. P&W WASP Major R4360.
I'll get back to you, Detective, when you check in for messages. Anything else?
I need an address for Superior Laundry Services.
Closest store to your location is in Wilshire, 4766 Melrose Avenue.
Thanks for your help.
So, about the real-life explosion, it was also, you know, a giant explosion, and it was actually caused by a very similar thing. I don't want to reveal what caused the explosion because I don't want to spoil the case, here for people. But the explosion in real life was caused very similar to this game. It's definitely based on it. And also, I will tell you guys is, when it comes to LA Noire, if I was to give this game a rating, it'd be 9 out of 10. The only reason this game does not get 10 out of 10 for me, the one thing I don't like about LA Noire that pisses me off, is that sometimes for certain cases, there's a specific order of places that you have to go in. And if you don't go in the correct order, you will miss cutscenes, you will miss dialogue questions, you will miss evidence, and so there's like things you won't be able to get 100% in the case if you don't go in a specific order, and I really hate that, how it does that. And also the book that Cole has, just because the order of the book is not always the correct order. Sometimes it's actually the bottom one, the one that you have to go to first. But you guys have told me how to fix that, how to get around that, is I have to talk to my partner. So just press square to the partner, and they'll tell you basically where you have to go next. But if you actually talk to Herschel on this case, he will tell you, you know, either go to the laundromat or we go to the address. That's it. And so you're supposed to go to the laundromat first on this one. But most of the time, the partner will tell you the correct order to go in.
What do you need?
Laundromats used to be a much bigger business back in the day. You can see it's a much fancier laundromat, pretty fancy laundromat for the area too. So yeah, back then a lot of people did not have washing machines in their homes, and so a lot of these laundromats made a lot of money.
Phelps and Biggs, LAPD. We have one of your laundry tags. Can you tell us who it might belong to?
Are you kidding? I got work to do, Mac. Here's the customer book. Knock yourself out.
My God. It's like you cannot take literally, you know, 1 minute to just help the police.
Number was,
My God.
J2620, Cole.
Oscar Hangstrom.
Who is Hangstrom?
Could be someone else from the factory. Does he have an address?
No, it's a pickup.
No. Dead end. Thank you for all your help, sir. Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
How can I help, Detective?
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an address for an Oscar Hangstrom.
Checking. No residential listing for anyone by that name, Detective. Sorry.
Thank you.
It's a fake name. Okay. Deciphered address. Apartment 1.
Well, well. Why the cloak and dagger routine, Miss Akamoto?
Yeah, you can tell there's definitely a struggle in here. And, the first thing I noticed originally was the blood stain.
Somebody turned the place over.
Turn this music back on here. And also, one thing I will say that's really unrealistic about LA Noire is how, like, when the police walk into a scene like this, that they just start looking for evidence is no... If the police walked in on a scene like this, especially saw this, they are going to immediately call for backup, and they are going to secure the scene to make sure that there's nobody hiding, because a criminal could still be hiding at the place. You never know. And also, for people wondering, can police do this without a warrant? Yes, they can. If they walk into a crime scene, they can investigate very much. If they see a door kicked open, an apartment ransacked, especially blood on the wall, it definitely gives them, probable cause to search the place. Remember this thing?
Looks like we have a match.
Interesting dame, this Sakamoto. What is it exactly?
Microfilm. A document shrunk to the size of your thumbnail.
Rod must have amazing eyesight.
And, whoever was in this apartment ransacking it, you can see, if you just look at the paintings, you see the paintings are also been removed. They've been knocked to the ground. The person was looking for something, specifically that microfilm. They were lined up against the wall and shot. Retired. Los Angeles Police.
Sure. That apartment gives you one of those when you retire.
And the last clue in here is actually a little difficult to find, because you don't get a, that big ping sound that you get like the regular sound, like the tiny ping that you've already searched the area, because it's not a place that you're technically supposed to search, and it's right here, it's the fridge. Yeah, this.
Do you think I could fit in there? I couldn't fit in there.
I'd like to think you would have had something more to say about getting shoved in a fridge, Herschel.
He's been shot. You just look at the forehead.
On Jeans Lindbergh. Very expensive watch. Favored by flyboys. I always wanted one as a kid.
That's funny. As a kid, all I wanted was some food on the table.
Also, whoever did this, I will tell you, is that this person is experienced, and I can tell right away, is because If you want to know where they got shot first, the person got shot in the chest first because it's the biggest target. The killer moved into the apartment, lined the guy up against the wall, shot him in the chest, he went down, and then he shot him in the head. The reason he shot him in the head a second time is to make sure they were dead. A lot of criminals do that, is they will put 2 shots into a person, and 2 shots typically in the head, just to make sure that the person's dead.
Could be a class ring. One to the head, one to the heart. Point blank.
Also, look at the, how his eyebrows and hair is frozen. He's been in that fridge for at least a few hours.
Biggs, edge 525. I'll need a couple of black and whites at 133 North Vermont Avenue, Wilshire. We'll need an ambulance in the corner. Probably a team from technical services as well.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through
How
now.
can I help, Detective?
Detective Phelps, badge 1247, messages please.
You need to call Ray Pinker urgently.
What?
Can you put me through?
It's ringing now.
She didn't say it. She
We're
didn't
on
say
our
the
way
line.
in.
Nix that. I got a message from Lindbergh Field. An airplane tech there identified your part.
What is it?
He said it was a prop spinner from either a Corsair or a B-50.
A what?
Fits over the center of the propeller and protects the pitch gearing.
So it's a military part.
Could be, but get this. The Spruce Goose runs 8 Wasp R-4360s. I think you better get over there and check it out.
We're on it.
Okay, prop spinner. Hughes aircraft. Okay, let's head over there.
You've got a head full of nothing.
You gotta mute this. Music Mafia's gonna get the video. If I don't. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now it's the crime scene again. And that's that creepy film studio that they were using the to build the houses.
This is a military project, gentlemen. Can you state your business?
Detectives, Phelps and Biggs, LAPD. We're investigating the explosion. We have reason to believe there may be a link to Hughes aircraft.
I'm sorry, I can't help you there, Detective.
MPs, military
Without
police.
authorization from military HQ, you won't be allowed onto this facility.
What seems to be the problem, gentlemen? Hey, Biggs. You're not still with the LAPD.
Right so, mates. Can you help us out here?
Sure. What seems to be the problem?
We're working the big explosion at the electroplating plant. I found a part there that belongs to one of your planes.
I work head of security for Mr. Hughes now. I'll take full responsibility. I'm sure we can clear this up. Follow me. It's the big hangar. You can't miss it.
Who is Mapes, and what's his connection to Howard Hughes?
Vernon Mapes used to work Advice. Word is he runs fuck pads for Hughes' starlets.
A pimp. Earl and Mapes would seem.
Mapes was the role model for creeps like Earl.
Of course he was. And also, I looked up Hughes Aircraft, and Hughes Aircraft was apparently bought out in 1997. So it was a real, this was a real plane company. And these companies, like I said, are a huge part of the military-industrial complex.
Good day, miss.
And they have massive connections to the U.S. government, which is why you're seeing MPs outside.
Can that thing really fly?
Mr. Hughes believes so. Amazing, isn't she?
So, this is the spruce.
Jesus Christ, Biggs, you want to get me fired? Mr. Hughes hates that fucking name. It's the H-4 Hercules to you.
Do you mind answering a few questions, Mr. Mapes?
Call me Vernon, kid. Fire away.
And, I will tell you guys something about that plane, is that plane is apparently a real plane. The H-4 Hercules. And only one of them were actually built. Hughes H-4 Hercules is a prototype strategic airlift flying boat designed and built by the Hughes Aircraft Company, intended as a transatlantic flight transport for use during World War II. It was not completed in time to be used in the war. The aircraft made only one brief flight on November 2nd, 1947, and the project never advanced beyond the prototype, so only one was ever built. And apparently, this aircraft is still, this aircraft has been preserved. And I will say about this aircraft is that this is apparently the largest amphibious aircraft ever built. Built from wood, Duramold process. Because of wartime restrictions on the use of aluminum and concerns about weight, the aircraft was nicknamed the Spruce Goose by critics, although it was made almost entirely of birch wood. The Birch Bee was a more accurate but less socially accepted moniker that was allegedly used by the mechanics who worked on the plane. The Hercules is the largest flying boat ever built, and has the largest wingspan of any aircraft ever flown until the twin fuselage scaled composite strato launch first flew on April 13, 2019. The aircraft remains in good condition. After having been displayed to the public in Long Beach, California from 1980 to 1992, it was moved to the display at Evergreen's Aviation and Space Museum in McMinnville, Oregon, United States. Okay, Nicholson plant explosion. So, former LAPD officer and Hughes Aircraft head of security.
Do you know anything about the explosion that happened at Nicholson Electroplating this morning?
No more than anyone else. Heard the boom while I was shaving. Almost shit my pants. Thought it was Pearl all over again.
He's referring to Pearl Harbor. Look at him. He's like, ugh. He's definitely lying. There's no question about it. He's definitely lying. Basically, is when I did this the first time, when I messed up audio, is I got this one question wrong. This is the only question I got wrong in the case. I did accuse.
Nicholson Electroplating was working on a miracle process to polish aluminum. A process that was very advantageous to airplane manufacturers. You're denying that you knew about it.
It doesn't matter what I deny, kid. It matters what you can prove. You have some evidence that links me personally with Nicholson?
And basically, what I chose for this is I chose the prop spinner because this is a airplane part that was at Nicholson, and I chose this as the link between Hughes Aircraft and Nicholson. Apparently, I got this wrong, so I'll just show you guys this. This is the one question I got wrong, just to keep it fair.
Nice try, kid. You have any real concerns you want to bring up?
Knowledge of Akamoto.
Do you know Tomoko Akamoto?
Never heard of the broad. Why?
This one, what is the cues on this?
Akamoto is an industrial spy. She's on your payroll.
A spy, you say? That's very interesting. You have some way of proving she was working for me or Hughes?
Sorry. Sometimes you have to shake the tree to see what falls out.
He's lying too. There's definitely no question on this. It's bad cop.
You don't happen to wear an LAPD tie pin, do you, Mapes?
Sometimes.
He's a retired
I have
LAPD.
a couple of them from my days on the force.
And a retired LAPD pin was found there. Knowledge of McClellan.
Do you know the chief chemist at Nicholson Electroplating, a Harold McClellan?
I've heard of the guy. He was pitching some fancy process to the company.
Also lying. This guy is a terrible liar. You know, for being a somebody who was in LAPD for some time, this guy's a terrible liar. Accused.
We know that you were sending parts to Nicholson for testing. Question is whether you were going through Nicholson or cutting your own deal with McClellan.
Interesting theory, kid. How you gonna prove any of that?
And we prove it here with the airplane part, the prop spinner. So apparently you can use this to prove his connection in the third question, but it doesn't work for the first question.
We found a prop spinner in the wreckage. We believe it belongs to this aircraft.
We sent them some aluminum parts to test. Howard and the Boffins were interested in this guy McClellan's theories. McClellan was cutting out Nicholson. That's not our problem.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Mapes. Do you mind if we have a look around while we're here?
Sure. Knock yourself out.
Turn on the clue music again.
You want to take a look inside her? And her?
Linseed oil.
McClellan's process was going to replace all this. Latitude 24 degrees, 15 minutes north. Longitude 76 degrees, 0 minutes west.
Let's see what that location is here.
"76 degrees west. 24 degrees, 15 minutes north. "76 degrees west.
Bahamas.
Let's see where this is exactly. The Bahamas? Somebody's already got their maiden flight planned. Is that a Pratt & Whitney 4360?
Sure is. You know your motors.
Do you mind if I take a look at the prop spinner?
We're getting her ready for sea trials, so be quick about it.
What is the oily covering on the metal?
We coat the aluminum parts in linseed oil to preserve it from oxidization.
That's rust. That's oxidization, I'm pretty sure means rust.
Looks like Mapes' office is in the far corner. Let's go see what he's hiding.
Oxidation is a general chemical reaction of losing one or more electrons in atom, molecule, or ion. However, rust is an oxidation reaction only when iron reacts with water and oxygen. Rust is an oxidation reaction only when iron reacts with water and oxygen. Yep. Okay. Just wanted to check that. Yeah, this guy's extremely careless, 1911.
Circumstantial.
But look at how Cole's holding it. No, 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 no. Rule number 1 of gun safety, Cole, is you point the barrel in a safe direction. Okay.
That is Marie the Body McDonald.
Does Hughes have her on contract to RKO?
Yeah, I bet he does.
Everything here is found. Okay.
See what Baker is. He's probably done tinkering with that camera by now.
Thanks for the tour, Mapes.
Always happy to help the department. Hey, don't I know your face from the papers? You're the cop that's stripping that German broad.
Nah, I think you got the wrong guy, Vernon.
I like that Herschel stood up for Cole that time.
ATI radio reminds you to...
Actually, you know what? Let's take Mapes' car. We're gonna take Mapes' car.
How are we gonna look getting around in this thing, Cole?
Yeah, take his car.
So McClellan was selling his new process to Hughes and cutting out Nicholson.
Looks that way. This would never go all the way up to Hughes. You would have middlemen dealing with stuff like this.
Someone like Mapes?
The word middleman was invented for guys like Mapes.
Police station is a pretty far drive from here. Okay.
Must be a tough break being separated from your kids, Phelps.
They're fine. They've got their mother and they've got each other.
What about you?
What about me?
What have you got?
A friend of mine is helping me through it.
Now that I got you, I may as well ask you.
Ask me what?
The Black Dahlia. Who was it that killed that poor girl?
No official charges have been pressed in the case.
I know that. I'm not looking for the official version.
I made a promise to the department.
These are the guys who sold you down the river.
Yep. Herschel is 100% right on that. They are the people that basically sold him down the river. There's a special vehicle here. Did I even take the right one? I don't think so, whatever. Let's go and take his, Mace's car again. Crap.
Brother!
Oh, that's not good. Well, I don't really care. It's Mace's car. I don't have to worry about it.
Hey, Cole. You're not winning any popularity contests upstairs, you know.
Where do you stand?
I think you're a good cop, but I try and stay out of politics.
Everybody tries to stay out of politics, Ray.
Well, don't quote me on it, but I'm hoping that Parker will get the job and clean this place up. I have your photographs. You can use the magnifier. There's quite a lot of detail.
Yeah, Ray is funny, though. Look.
Very funny.
That's...
I think you're right, Ray. We have our man. You take a nice photo, Phelps.
That's when Cole took out the camera the first time and took a picture of his face there.
Bringing the Watcher a match for our John Doe. He's obviously the competitive bid. Can you get this over to Lockheed?
This was the guy who died in the fridge.
It's already on its way.
He works for Lockheed, another airplane manufacturer.
Howard Hughes, millionaire, industrialist.
See that pin on his tie? He didn't have that.
And Vernon Mapes,
when he was talking to you.
Ex-dirty cop and business fixer.
With Howard Hughes.
I found a similar tie pin along with a dead guy in a fridge. Excellent photography, Tomoko. So Tomoko had the goods on McClellan. Too bad they blew the place to hell.
Due to the chemically unstable nature of the above-mentioned compounds, all due care must be taken monitoring the temperature at which the solution is kept. Prior to immersion, the aluminum alloy workpieces must be cleansed, preferably either in an organic solution of the halogenated type, or in a cold alkaline solution. The workpiece is then mixed in water at room temperature. Upon removal from the... So yeah, she was taking pictures of McClellan's notes.
Is this McClellan?
That is McClellan.
Can anyone make out the street number behind him?
Are you kidding? With my eyesight?
Okay, we have the address here.
Cole, can you help me with a little experiment? Use the eyedropper in front of you. One drop from each of the bottles on the desk. Place the drops in the petri dish.
You look at the coroner, you see how he got behind the desk? And linseed oil. Yep, does that.
It's okay, guys. Just a little experiment.
Can you guys knock it off? Everyone's still jumping from that bang this morning.
Very funny, Ray. You just took a couple years off my life expectancy.
Did the same trick to me about an hour ago.
So that was the stuff that caused the explosion.
I think so. Acetic anhydride is almost as explosive as nitro, and when mixed with perchloric acid, it's very unstable. It needs to be cooled constantly. We used linseed oil. You could add any organic compound to trigger an explosion.
3 little drops.
Yeah, and they were using a 100-gallon vat.
Canary says he'll sing, but only if I guarantee he walks.
So imagine that's the explosion that was from a few drops of it. So basically, the polished aluminum foil, for people that are confused, if it mixes with some kind of organic material, blows up instantly. It's extremely unstable. So it was meant to prevent oxidation on planes, a way to polish the aluminum on planes.
You know you've made it.
But it's extremely unstable, and it can blow up so easily. And so he said they were using 100-gallon jugs. If that was that explosion from just a little bit of that, imagine 100 gallons, what that's going to do. That's basically what caused that giant crater. That mushroom cloud was from that. And the real-life explosion, also very similar. Very similar to what happened. Let me actually see, explosion, LA, let's see. O'Connor Plating Works disaster happened in 1947, and it was a large accidental explosion. It basically took out, like, 2 blocks. 17 people,
Cole, we got things to do.
The explosion in real life was caused by the improper handling of chloric acid, which the plant was using an experimental method for polishing aluminum. On the day of the accident, the cooling unit required to store perchloric acid safely was not working. A vessel of 130 US gallons, the chemical was boiling and may have ignited when a plastic rack was lowered into it. So in the game, they actually changed it a little bit. In the game, it's that if the organic material basically touches the compound, it just explodes. But in real life, it was that the cooling unit wasn't working, and the chemical started boiling, and basically because of that, it exploded. So when it gets really hot, it explodes. This is a patent right here. And for people who don't know what a patent is basically a document that you get from the government when, you create an idea. So if you create an invention, the patent basically says that you have the rights to that invention and that nobody can, take that from you. And patents don't last forever. It depends on what was invented specifically, how many years. Eventually, patents do expire, and then other people can make similar designs to you. But when an inventor makes the actual first design, they are entitled to that. And other people cannot steal your work. They can't steal that. The government can't steal that from you. Other people can't steal it. And they can't try to make money off of your works. Now, patents have existed for, since, like, Renaissance Italy, 700 years ago. But basically, patents were really pushed by the American forefathers. Like, the American forefathers really believed in patents, and the idea behind that was because back then, the monarchy could, like, steal your idea. So if you were, like, a peasant, and you created some kind of new great invention, what could happen is the other aristocrats, like nobles, could basically steal your design. And you could go to the government, and the government is going to do anything whatsoever to help you. The monarchy could steal your design. The king could steal your design, and they're not going to help you at all. They're not going to do anything about that. Patents were a way to basically protect the person from being abused by government stealing your ideas, and also other people stealing your ideas. That's the whole purpose of them. See here, September 28th, 1947, a chemical polishing bath process for pre-treating aluminum and its alloys prior to plating or anodizing operations, which bathe and process produce a mirror-like finish.
And Akamoto copying the details for Lockheed. Where does that leave Nicholson?
With a great big hole in the ground.
A bath formula is presented, which produces mirror finishes on both wrought heat-treatable and not-heat-treatable aluminum alloys. Cleaned and rinsed aluminum workpieces are chemically polished in a bath comprising acetic acridite, percolic acid, and water. Is the range from 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. In the range of 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. After polishing, the workpieces are rinsed in warm deionized water for about 1 to 2 minutes. The result is an aluminum workpiece resistant to oxidation, suitable for immediate use in decorative applications, or ready for another step, such as anodizing for use in industrial or aerodynamic applications. This polishing bath produces micro-etched surfaces which increase nucleation sites, an important consideration for even anodic coatings. And this is a diagram of it. If any of you guys in the comments understand any of these chemicals and basically everything that it's talking about, like the procedure here, you know, let me know in the comments. House and photograph. Okay, let's go there. Take Mapes' car again. Now they have their guns drawn. It's a better idea. Somebody's been trying to burn the place down.
This place stinks of petroleum.
Avgas, if I'm not mistaken. It's all around the floor. Hangstrom is flying today on TWA.
Hangstrom is dead, Cole. Why leave your ticket behind?
He's flying to Bahamas.
Mapes is cleaning up.
Oscar Hangstrom.
Hangstrom and McClellan are the same man.
The gas, Cole, the gas! We gotta get out of here right now!
Look, by the stove! Shoot the gas line, Cole, we're out of here!
Son of a...
There you are, shitheel. Come on, he's not getting away from us.
To this?
Lay into his wheel well, come on! Step on it, huh? Get me just a little closer! Smash the son of a bitch's rear wheels! Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires.
Coming right back to the crime scene now, too.
Enough games, Phelps. Take this guy out. Shit. You security men, Cole. Stay on Mace. Knock them off the road.
The MPs are also corrupt.
Get in close and steer him off the tar. It's no good. We need to get closer. Okay, one traffic stop coming up.
Stop right there. Get out of the car slowly. Fire a warning round.
We're gonna have to go through all the security men first. I hope you're ready for a fight,
Aim at
Cole.
the tires.
Yeah, so the MPs are also in on this, too.
Stay down.
Great, looks like that car that followed us is back.
I'm covering you.
Throw out the guns.
This one's got your name on it.
Okay, got him. I'm gonna move up on this. Move up on him now. I'm gonna Garant.
He wants to play cat and mouse? Fine. Let's go and get his ass.
How long do you think you can hold out?
Well, disappointing that the M1 Garand doesn't have the signature ping.
Weapons on the ground, now! Find some cover!
Mapes is a bar.
I'm covering you.
Headshot.
You're gonna have to explain this to me again. So the guy at the chemical plant, he's planning on selling his magic formula to another company and skipping town with his assistant, but he blows himself up before he can manage it. So why the dead body in the refrigerator?
Mapes, Captain. He was eliminating all competitors for the process. When it went bang, he burnt down the apartment to remove all connection between Hughes and the plant.
Mapes, right. I remember Vernon Mapes. The guy had good, honest cops hanging their heads in shame. Glad he's finally out of commission. I don't know if it'll do you any good, Phelps, but between the spruce goose and half the city exploding, you might just have made the case of the decade.
McClellan and Okamoto might never be heard from again, but neither will Vernon Mapes. So basically, for people that are confused what was going on, what happened in that case, let me explain. So McClellan, he had developed the and it's his name. His name wasn't really McClellan. It was actually Oscar was his real name. Oscar, also known as Harold McClellan. Which one is the which one was the fake name? So McClellan was the fake name. So he was working for Nicholson and Nicholson Electroplating. He came up with this formula to polish aluminum for planes. And what happened was then Vernon Mapes got in contact with him. Hughes Aircraft offered him more money than Nicholson. So he was planning on selling the secrets of the polished aluminum formula to Hughes Aircraft. What they didn't realize was that the formula was extremely unstable. If it touches any amount of linseed oil, it explodes. And so that's what happened. The actual explosion at the factory was an accident. There was no foul play there. It was an accident. And as for McClellan was at the center of it. He was the one who was, experimenting with it. He was vaporized. There was nothing left of him. That was just his laundry that you saw there. And his assistant, the Japanese girl, she was also vaporized. As for the Japanese girl, what happened with her, she was working for Lockheed. So she was a second spy. So basically, it's a little confusing. Oscar, also known as McClellan, was screwing over Nicholson and was going to sell it to Hughes, working with Mapes. But his assistant, Oscar and McClellan, or also known as McClellan's assistant, was working for Lockheed. And she was spying on him. She was taking pictures of him and also taking pictures of Vernon Mapes and took pictures of the plants. Now, Vernon Mapes somehow found out about this. I don't know how he found out about this. And he went over to her apartment to see if she has any evidence left of the formula. And he found the Lockheed employee there. He ended up killing him, and he searched the apartment for the microfilm. That's what he was trying to find, but he wasn't able to find it because it was inside the earrings. And then what Mapes tried to do is Mapes tried to get rid of any kind of connection between Hughes and the polished formula, any connection to Oscar Hangstrom. And what he did was he was trying to burn down Oscar Hangstrom's house. And that's when, Cole and Herschel were in there. He tried to trap them in there. He saw them coming, so he probably, got out the window. He trapped them in there, but he didn't expect them to get out like that. And then he tried to escape. The MPs seem to be part of the conspiracy. The MPs also seem to be corrupt in it. I don't know if there's proof that that Hughes is directly involved in it, but Hughes probably used Mapes as a middleman. That's probably what it was. So it was Mapes and the corrupt MPs that were involved in this. The only thing that, and this was my favorite case in the game, the only thing that I'm confused about, the only thing I didn't understand in the case, and somebody let me know in the comments if you have an answer for this, is the Bahamas connection. That's the only thing I didn't understand, is Oscar was going to fly to the Bahamas the next day, or, the same day. So basically is why was he going to the Bahamas? And then also the plane, the Spruce Goose, had the Bahamas as the coordinates. So can anybody explain that, the relevance of that to me in the comments? That's the only part of the case I don't understand, the Bahamas connection. But that's pretty much it. It was a great It was a great case, interesting one, and just, you know, something just so ridiculous, like an insane, like an explosion, and that it just, there was just so many people involved and so many conspiracies in this case. So that's why this one is probably my favorite case in the game. So thank you guys for watching. I will have the next part, the final part for you guys soon. Thank you guys once again. If you enjoyed the series, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.